the White House is now talking about a tax for every mile that you drive.
Yeah. Pete Buttigieg bringing that in.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
Focus. Yeah.
That's good stuff.
That's because, remember, long ago they said, well, you need electric cars.
Yeah.
You need an electric car because, you know, that's good for the environment and think you're not going to have to pay for all that gas and you don't have to pay any of those gas taxes. That'll be great.
Yeah.
And then when the gas tax money started to go away, they said, well, we can't use a gas tax anymore because no one's paying the gas tax.
Yeah, because we have electric cars.
We have electric cars. We're not paying the gas tax anymore.
So now we just need to charge you $1 per mile, which I think is...
$1 per mile?
I think it... No, listen to me. I think that's...
It's not that high, is it? I wouldn't be shocked, but that can't possibly be how much it is.
Gas tax anyway, blah, blah, blah.
$1 a mile? No.
It can't be. I swear I read that. Now I can't find it in this article. I swear I read that this weekend. It can't be. Because that would be crazy. But then again, it's the joke. You know, here's why it didn't even... Until you said that, I'm like, yeah, $1 per mile.
Yeah, it just seems like
it
normal.
just seems like, yeah, okay, that could possibly. Okay, so they're thinking about taxing people, which I think goes right in line, seriously, goes right in line with the no one under $400,000 is going to pay a dime in extra taxes. Don't you think?
Oh, yeah, because I think there's any, as far as I know, only people who make over $400,000 drive cars.
Yeah.
So... Yeah. Those other people don't have to pay that tax.
And so the good thing is, if you live in New York City, you won't have to worry about it, you know, because you really probably don't drive, which is great. You'll pay a little more for taxis, but aren't you willing to? You won't even notice that, you know, a little more for Uber, you know, but will you notice that? So all you have to do is live in one of these great cities with, you know, some sort of a subway or something, which our country is riddled with those cities. I can't fall down and not be able to touch two different subway systems or a light rail system that is so convenient for me to use. How about you, Stu? They're just fantastic.
Oh, I'm a huge fan of the light rail. And the good thing about them is their consistency, which is every time they're created, they destroy the economy around it.
Right?
Yeah, and they just and I shouldn't say they destroy the economy around it. They just take everyone's money. And then it gets poured into the light rail system instead of other valuable things.
And like the light rail system that it comes right here just a few blocks away from our studio.
Oh, it's nice.
It's really nice. And the reason why it's so nice, it's been there for decades, really, and no one ever rides it. So it's like a ghost train.
Yeah.
It just rides in the middle of the night. It rides early in the morning, and no one is on it. And I just think it's the way it should be. We're saving it for when people really want to ride it, you know?
I like that because it's, first of all, it's very spacious. You always have the space.
Because no one is on it. That's almost literal.
The Dallas one is an insane story. In 1984, it came in. The tax came in. It was supposed to pay for 147 miles of light rail, but that plan was too expensive, so it was scaled back to 90. Even though the tax stayed the same, obviously.
Of course it did. Obviously. Yeah, of course it did. That only makes sense.
$8.2 billion was what it cost, and I know. I've used it approximately 0 times. Glenn, how many times have you used it?
I've lived here now for what, 10 years? Have you lived here for 10 years? Yeah. I've used it never.
Well, and Sarah, have you ever used the light rail system here? No, she says no. In fact, I
don't know anyone that uses, because it goes from like nowhere to other places also where nothing happens.
And it's one of those things where, like, I think one of the stops is at the American Airlines Center, like where the Dallas Mavericks play, for example. However, it like doesn't run late enough for some of the games, so you go down there. Right?
Why would you?
The one time I wanted to take the light rail system, I was with my son. We went to a Mavs game, and the game ran, I guess, a little bit late, so they just stopped running the trains. So then I was just down in the center of Dallas with my kid at 11:30 at night, which was fantastic. Of course, no Ubers, no cabs, nothing around at that point. So
this story ends with him being stabbed to death.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
By the way, we have something in common with our fellow people here in Dallas. 92% of people in Dallas have never used the light rail system that they caused these billions of dollars.
Yeah, but those 8% I mean, that's good stuff. I mean, it just never goes anywhere, and you have to drive to it.
Right. It's so.
I mean,
bad.
it's just.
So
it's just ridiculous. It's not New York City.
They added an extra train line, and they had a goal of how many miles they were going to use. After they made the goal, they added an extra train line, and they got an extra 2 years, and they still missed the goal by over 40%. Because no one rides it. No one rides it. And it's an incredible thing where you see this thing floating around empty all the time, just going back and forth. It's like Sim City. You'd put that old game. You just put the stupid train in there, and just ride back and forth, and no one would ever be on it. Here's
the amazing thing. I've lived in so many cities because I'm on the run. I'm on the lam, and I've lived in so many cities all across the country. And every time I go to a city, it's like, we should have a light rail. And I'm like, don't do it.
Don't do it.
Every city I've lived in has done it, and it's a waste of money. They never finish it. And then you've got some politician going, hey, well, at least we got light rail. It's great. If we could just get an extension to it, then it would really open up. Don't do it, America. In the meantime, a mileage tax coming your way.